Axanar fans, Alec here on the bridge of the USS Aries. And last week's video was again really successful. Thank you for all the positive feedback, the comments, the likes. I mean, you guys are fantastic. We're over 60,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. And I think that by the time you see this, we'll probably be close to 20,000 views on last week's video. One of the things that's really interesting is so many of you have written in the comments, oh, well, I didn't think Axanar was still going, or you know, we thought CBS killed Axanar, and you're all so excited that we're still going and that we're going to start production early next year. So we thought we'd give you just a little bit of an update so you know what's been going on and answer some of your questions. So we settled our lawsuit with CBS and Paramount in January, I believe it was, of 2017. And basically this lawsuit, because of the way the judge had ruled, denying us a fair use claim, which he wasn't really allowed to do, because fair use is a matter of a matter of fact, not a matter of law. A judge can rule on matters of law. A judge cannot rule on matters of fact in a jury trial. And so because he ruled on a matter of fact, it gave us an instant appeal to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. And I was very clear about that. I posted about it, I blogged about it. I wanted CBS to know that we were ready to go for the 2 years it would take for the Ninth Circuit to hear it. Now, CBS and Paramount did not want this to drag out another 2 years. They had basically spent 2016, the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, suing their biggest fans. And that wasn't a good look for them. And so they came back to us about 2 weeks before the trial and said, let's settle this. And because of that, we were able to get a settlement that allows us to make another half hour of Axanar. 2 more 15-minute episodes. Now, that may not be the 2 full hours of the feature film script that we wrote and we're hoping to shoot, but it is a half hour. It's 50% more time than we had in Prelude. You know, and some people are like, well, what kind of story can you tell in a half hour? Well, I don't know. TV was built on the half-hour episode, so I think we could tell a pretty good story. Plus, Prelude to Axanar was 20 minutes, and we told a pretty damn good ripping yarn in that 20 minutes. So we're pretty excited. So what happened is after the lawsuit settlement, we had to decide, well, what are we going to do? And so we had a meeting and we talked about, what are we now going to do? What are we going to shoot? What is this half hour going to be? Now, I was pulling for taking the full feature script and turning it into episodes 4 and 5 of the 4 Years' War. Prelude to Axanar being episode 3. I was like, look, let's tell the story. Let's tell the story of this 2-hour script. I mean, it's not going to be a full feature film, but a half hour is plenty of time to tell the story. Rob Burnett and Bill Hunt, our then at that time director and co-writer, wanted to just film the first half hour of Axanar. They wanted to kind of show what we could have done. Well, I didn't think that was a really great idea. I understand why they wanted to do it. So I asked the fans, and we did a poll on the Axanar fan group on Facebook, and overwhelmingly, something like 700 to 7, you said you wanted to see 2 episodes of the 4 Years' War and for us to tell the whole story. So over the course of the next few months, I started rewriting the script, condensing it down into the format of Prelude to Axanar. Now, at the same time, CBS basically wasted $1 million and a $1.4 million donor money, because we had built all these great sets. We had this studio we had built. We were all set to start filming. The first third or so of 35–40% of Axanar would have gotten filmed in January of 2016 if not for the lawsuit. But the lawsuit dragged out. We couldn't shoot anything because of advice of our attorneys. And even though we got $1 million worth of free legal help from Winston Strawn, our awesome attorneys in the lawsuit, we had to pay for the rent. We had to continue keeping the place open, and that really drained all the money. So fortunately, we decided to move here to Atlanta, Georgia, and we got OWC, Other World Computing, to sponsor the studio for the first year. And they've been a fantastic sponsor for us. They made this all possible. And so we loaded 3 tractor trailers full of everything we could put in them, most of the sets, and we came here to a smaller facility here in Atlanta, Georgia, on the outskirts of Atlanta, a town called Lawrenceville. We recently had Doom Patrol shooting here. Sleepy Hollow is shot here. Atlanta is a huge film town. It's overtaken Hollywood in production of big movies. So it's a great film town. The cost of living here is about half of what it is in LA. And so in May of 2016, we moved 2017, we moved here, the studio here. In August, my girlfriend Kristen and I moved here. And the first weekend here was amazing. We had 35 volunteers unload 3 tractor trailers and put this bridge set together in a day. It was amazing. So for the past year and a half, we've been prepping, we've been slowly working on the bridge, we've been getting the studio in shape, rewriting the script. We have Paul Jenkins, the famous comic book writer who wrote Wolverine Origins, come on board. He rewrote the script with me, and he'll be directing it with Mark Edward Lewis as our editor, who is our sound editor and post supervisor on Prelude to Axanar. So we're really excited. Things are slowly starting to heat up. These updates are meant to let you know what we're doing and how we're doing it. So that's kind of where we are. We get to make 2 more 15-minute episodes. It's going to be episodes 4 and 5 of the 4 Years War, and that will tell you about what happened from the point Prelude to Axanar ends with those 3 D7s coming into service. What happened after that? And I can tell you, the people who have read this script that we wrote for this love it. It is action-packed. It is everything you loved about Prelude and more. And we've got big battle scenes. The battle, I will tell you, is going to be largely the same as it would have been in the movie. Of course, it'll be shorter, but we really get to tell that whole story that we were telling in the feature film. It's as exciting as heck. You will really be blown away. Our goal is not just to make another Prelude to Axanar. Our goal is to make something better. That was 4 years ago. That was the standard. We need to do better. So these 2 episodes, I think, will blow you away. And I know a lot of people comment to me about Star Trek Discovery. I think the most common comment we get on our YouTube page or on our Facebook page is, wow, we wish Axanar was the Star Trek that CBS decided to make rather than Discovery. And we thank you very much for those comments. They're very heartwarming. Listen, I'm not, as you know, if you follow me on Facebook, if you follow our blog at www.axanar.com, you know I'm not a hater on just Star Trek Discovery. I just like the JJ movies, which I actually enjoyed. What I loved about the JJ movies was they set it in an alternate timeline. They said, look, this is an alternate timeline, and I am a big fan of multiverses. I love all the Elseworld stuff that DC puts out, all the what-ifs that Marvel used to put out. I love all that stuff. It's great to be able to take a universe and look at it at a little different angle, or to have people build on that universe, right? All that stuff is great. So when JJ and Robert Orsi really was the architect of that, said, let's set this in an alternate universe to make the fans happy, it was a huge nod to Star Trek fans, right? And it really kind of gave us all the ability to say, okay, you know what? Maybe that's not exactly the Star Trek I grew up on, but it's kind of cool. And I think, you know, the first Star Trek movie I liked, despite a lot of plot holes. I liked the first Star Trek movie. I saw it in the movie theater 4 times, which is more than I saw Star Wars. I saw Star Wars 3 times in the movie theater when it first came out. But I really loved the first Star Trek movie because it really paid homage to the original Star Trek. Star Trek Into Darkness, not so much, but I love Star Trek Beyond. Outside the motorcycle, I love Star Trek Beyond. There was some great character stuff there. So now, Star Trek Discovery, again, different Star Trek, meant for a different audience. I think some Star Trek fans like it, some Star Trek fans hate it, I get it. I don't. Listen, my only problem, as I say over and over with Star Trek Discovery, is that it's not in the prime timeline. You can tell me whatever you want, it is not part of the prime timeline. We know what the prime timeline looks like, right? And we know what Kirk, Spock, and McCoy look like. And that's my only problem with it. Other than that, listen, you know, Star Trek is like pizza. When it's good, it's great. And when it's bad, it's still pretty good. So that's a long way of saying, all you fans who wanted Axanar instead of Discovery, thank you. I think what we're trying to do is give fans the Star Trek they want in this time period. And as you can see from this great bridge that we've shown you many times here recently, it's a bridge that looks like it belongs in the timeline. It is based on a TOS bridge, just slightly different. But, you know, TOS was 50 years ago, so we had to update it slightly. Had a discussion with a VFX person who said, yeah, I would have liked tactile buttons. And I said, yeah, I get that. That's the way TOS was, but you know what? We already have iPads. I don't think there's going to be, you know, rocker switches on the Enterprise. Other than that, we really try and respect the timeline. We respect the prime timeline. And I think that is really what you fans have really latched onto. We're Star Trek geeks. We love this just like you do. I'm as big a Star Trek geek as anyone, all right? I mean, I was 6 years old watching the original Star Trek on TV when it first came out. That's how old I am. And I think we all love it and want to respect it. And that's what Axanar is, and that's what we're going to be bringing to you. So please follow us on our Facebook page, Axanar. The Axanar fan group is for fans to talk about Axanar. Our website, www.axanar.com, has constant updates. I have a captain's log. I try and write, you know, probably 2-3 times a week. There's updates on what's happening on the bridge in the studio. There's updates on what's happening with other fan films. Jonathan Lane of Fan Film Factor writes a Friday fan film article. So please stay up to date with us, and I'm here. I'm trying to engage as many fans as possible. We appreciate everything you guys have done for us, and we are going to try and continue to deliver on this for you. I hope that updates you all. I hope you guys get all the information you need. Please go to our website because I'm constantly writing about this. And if you have any other questions, send them to me, put them in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already, and make sure you click on the bell icon because that's how you get notifications of our when our new videos come up. And Dana Wagner, who is shooting this video, who's one of our producers and been doing some of the amazing work on this bridge, he's putting these videos together. He and I are trying to get one out a week. They'll either be on the studio, they'll be on the production, or they'll just be general Axanar videos. And for example, our next video, we're going to be doing a video about the perks and what you can expect as far as timing on those, the Blu-rays, the patches, all of that stuff, because we owe, you know, there's a lot of donors and we owe you guys stuff, and we can't wait to get it in your hands. So stay tuned. Thank you for your support. Your support is what makes this possible, and let's all get together and bring real Star Trek to the small screen. Thank you so much.
To stay up to date with the latest Axanar news, please subscribe to our channel. Click the bell icon to receive notifications whenever new videos are uploaded, and be sure to visit us on the web at axanar.com.